What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's Norm, the Crypto Newbie. Today is November the 11th, and it's rainy, it's cold, it's not much going on today, of course, so I thought it would be the perfect time to make a video. And I have a funny story to tell. I don't have anyone else who really appreciates these kind of stories in my real world, so I thought, you know what? I'd share it with my YouTube community. Maybe there might be one person who might be interested in watching this video and could appreciate exactly what I'm talking about. This whole video is basically going to be about fear, manipulation, basically the FUD in cryptocurrency that everyone is dealing with, and why so many people are afraid to actually invest in these markets right now. And we're gonna right now rewind back to the year 2017. So that's about 4 going on 5 years ago. And if people are watching, anybody's watching my videos, you'll actually hear me talk about how I was very interested in crypto several years ago, and I started to invest early on into cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. And I think it was basically only Bitcoin that I was really investing in, because I don't even know what was really else on the market at that time. But really, Bitcoin, of course, was the major one. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone was, talking about how it was going to explode. But it was, a very volatile cryptocurrency at the time, when it would go up really, really fast and then dip really, really fast. Now, before I go on, guys, I want to just ask you all just one quick thing. Make sure you thumbs up these videos. If you do take the time to watch this, give me a quick thumbs up. That's a quick way to say thanks for, taking the time to make the video and showing me some appreciation. And please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Would be doing me a great, huge favor. So anyway, back to the story. So yeah, it was around going on 5 years ago. I first got into cryptocurrency, and I was so interested in it. And at that point in my life was the first time really in my financial life that I actually had some money in the bank that I was actually, able to play with and look at making some investments like this, because I'm a working stiff. I have no rich family behind me. I have been saving money all my life. And at that point, around 4 or 5 years ago, I was preparing to buy my very first home. Before that, I was just renting homes. Like I said, I'm some poor bloke. And so I had about $25,000 in my life savings. And I was thinking to myself, this would be a great opportunity for me to take that money, invest it into something else, and see if I could make it into even more money. I have been a gambler all my life, folks, all my life. I don't mind taking risks. I don't mind taking chances. And I thought it would be the perfect opportunity where everyone was discussing and talking about Bitcoin. So of course I started, playing with some of the, the charts. I started looking at some of these platforms where me as a Canadian, I was able to buy cryptocurrency at the time. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever used this website or platform. Many of you, I'm sure, have, but it's a website called Paxful, Paxful. And I started, investing in cryptocurrency. I started buying, very small amounts and making purchases or sending out, to different wallets just to see how it would work. That's exactly what I was doing at the time. I didn't really hear a whole lot. I couldn't find a whole lot of information. I didn't know about anybody in my own real world that would talk to me or knew anything about cryptocurrency. So I was trying to do all the homework on my own, and I started purchasing cryptocurrency, as you'll see here. So if we take a look at the charts at that time, cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin in general, was trading very volatilely. And of course, Bitcoin at the time when I started making these purchases was trading around $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, somewhere in those ranges, $1,500. It just would depend on what day you would look at the charts. And it was going up and down so fast that I really, really sat back and took notice and was like, you know what, this is a great opportunity. So I was trying so hard to talk myself into taking that $25,000 that I had sitting in my bank account anyway, collecting only pennies in interest from the bank, of course, while I was waiting to buy my first, forever home. And I was trying to, encourage myself to take a risk and put it into Bitcoin. Of course, after, a few months of playing around with the markets, making purchases, buying Bitcoin, and making sure that it was really real, and that it wasn't just some scam, because at that point, I really didn't even know if it was a legit currency or if it was a real market or if I was going to just get scammed. I was still so very, very new and green to the entire cryptocurrency world that I was so scared. I kind of picked up some Bitcoin. I held them in my wallet. I made some purchases. I made some transactions to make sure that, the situation was real. And I talked myself out of it. I talked myself out of taking the money I had in the bank and investing because it was such a huge risk at the time. I was listening to the fear, the manipulation, the FUD. I was scared. I didn't want to take a risk with the money that I worked so hard to save. And I walked away from the cryptocurrency markets altogether. So now, let's take a look at exactly what would have happened had I talked myself into putting that $25,000 into Bitcoin. Back in 2017, I really started taking notice to Bitcoin, like a lot of people, of course. And at that time, I found a website, like I said, called Paxful. I started buying and trading cryptocurrency and just making transactions with Bitcoin. To learn how to use the cryptocurrency is basically what I was doing. So if we want to take a quick look at some of my trading, let's take a look on May 14th, 2017. As you guys can see, I picked up I made a purchase, very small purchases. That's all I was doing because I didn't know, of course, that I was going to lose the money or it was just going to disappear as soon as I made the transaction. So right here we can see that I picked up 0.03 of Bitcoin, and that cost me $65.11 US. And if we also take a quick look, we can also see that I was also making little transactions. So back in 2017, I was really trying to teach myself how to buy and sell and make transactions with Bitcoin before I really could, make the decision to whether or not really fully invest the money that I had in my life savings into Bitcoin at the time. So let's also take a quick look at the trading activity for Bitcoin at that time. So on May 14th, 2017, when I was about to, make the decision whether or not I was going to take that $25,000 that I had in my life savings and invest in Bitcoin, Bitcoin was trading at $1,738 US. Now that is absolutely insane when we look at the fact that today Bitcoin had hit an all-time high today of $68,742. So let's do a quick little bit of math, shall we? So let's say I had $25,000 to invest on May 14th, 2017, and it was trading back then at $1,738, I think. So divide that by 1738, which means that I would have been able to pick up 14.38 of Bitcoin at the time that I could have held in my wallet. So 14.38 of Bitcoin, had I held on to those just for 4 short years, and today it's trading at around, basically it was somewhere today around $68,000. That means I missed out on $977,840 potential dollars by not taking the decision to invest my money in Bitcoin at the time. Let that sink in, because it's been sinking into me ever since I made the decision to not make that investment. Because of course, as we can all remember, of course, with Bitcoin, just shortly after that, Bitcoin started, going through the roof, of course, and I started, missing out, of course, and just being so mad at myself because look, that was back in May of 2017, and a few months later, it was up to $20,000. So it had almost around, 18, 19, 20x'd, the value, and I missed out. I totally missed out on picking up those, those Bitcoin at only $1,700 per Bitcoin, and it's something that I will have to live with forever. I think, of course, that I missed the mark right now. I could have picked up 14 Bitcoin, and in order for me to do the exact same thing today, I'd need about $1 million. So that is my little story on how I lost a small fortune by not deciding to put my money into Bitcoin. Now, would I have kept those Bitcoin? Maybe not. Maybe when they even reached that peak of around $25,000 only a few short months later, I probably would have dumped them all. But it is one of those little stories where you look back and you realize that hindsight is absolutely 2020. And had I picked up those tokens for just $1,738 and held on to them for just 4 years, guys, 4 years, my life would be so different right now. I would own this house that I mortgaged a few years back instead of paying a monthly mortgage, and I would be so much better off financially right now. But I didn't make that decision. And today I'm trying to change that. As you know, I 6 months ago started to invest in cryptocurrency again. And this is where this whole journey has come from. This is not me trying to jump on the cryptocurrency bandwagon. I'm actually one of those schmucks who was investing in cryptocurrency, years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and I didn't stay with it. I believed all the fear, all the FUD, all the manipulation where people were saying you were going to lose your money, scammers were going to rob you, they were going to take everything you invested and run away with it, and I believed that, and I jumped ship. And I have to look back on those only 4 years ago, those decisions that really cost me a small fortune. So hopefully this time around, it don't happen. And the money that I'm investing in cryptocurrency actually turns into an absolute, legit, realistic, real $1 million in value this time. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys, appreciated that little story. This is a horrible video, I know, but you know what? I just wanted to share that little story with someone who might appreciate it, because anytime I try to tell people about it in my real world, they just scratch their head and don't really understand what I'm talking about, or don't even really believe me. So anyway, guys, that's it for me. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys are staying safe, and you know what? Investing your money very safely. And as I always say, guys, remember, boom, smart investing.